Hello, everyone. We are live now. Thank you for staying tuned. And good day, everyone. Everyone connecting everywhere in the world. I want to welcome you. Welcome to Making a Difference with Sandra. I'm an author, a Maxwell Leadership Certified team member. Congratulations on your joining to Making a Difference. I'm so excited that you are getting on this journey with me, and we can become that change agent we are all called to be. I need your support. So like, subscribe, share this page. And if you're being impacted positively, please share the page. At least you want to be a person of difference. You want to impact your world. You want other people to become like you or even better than you. So please share this link to your friends. Invite them to come on this live session. I have a guest with me, and a special one indeed. I would on this platform, I'll be talking about my book before I go into the show per se. I would like to talk about my book, Can Anything Hold You Back? And subtitle, Making a Difference. This book was actually written to encourage youths, men, and women to live a life of difference. A life of difference. A life of difference is a life that is worthy of emulation. Everybody wants to be like you. A life, a better version of yourself, a 360-degree personality, having a control of your life, a life of intentionality. I'll be reading an excerpt from the book that says, Don't quit when you're tired, but only when the problem is solved. Don't throw in the towers. This other excerpt I would like to read, You are a gift. So unwrap the gift in you to impact your world. Every one of us have a gift and a talent. God has not created anyone purposeless. Everyone has got a gift, and everyone has a talent and a call. And you can get this book on Jumia and Amazon. When you receive this book, rather, I don't know if you're buying if it's an e-copy or the hard copy, can you please share a post on your social media with a caption? I just got the book. Can Anything Hold You Back? It's subtitle, Making a Difference. Please kindly remember to tag me. Don't forget that I would love to hear your testimonies. I'd love to hear from you and your feedbacks, your review on the book. On this show, what we'll basically do is Making a Difference with Sandra Ukoh. We train, we teach, we mentor, we coach people on how they can become better versions of themselves in areas of their finances, business, career, leadership skills, and relationships. We learn from other people's stories and life experience so we can write on the experience to avoid the pitfalls they fell into and get to our goals faster and better and become better versions of ourselves. Making a difference includes being financially okay, doing great on all fronts of life. And basically, today we have a guest with us today that I would like to read a short bio on her before bringing her on stage, and she then has the floor. Adebola Sanni is a fintech growth innovation expert who has consulted for top international brands like Google, MTN, Shell Foundation, IFC, World Bank, USAID. Adebola has multifaceted skills which cut across business analysis, product management, business development, product development, strategy development, growth, and marketing. She's a pioneer in new product development and solution design to meet the demands of the digital age with sound knowledge of e-commerce, multi-device payments, financial solutions, applications, and emerging new technology. What is skill? Oh my God. And currently, Adebola is the Chief Strategy and Partnership Officer for Swift Systems and Services Limited, also a Director of If in Branches Technologies at Errand GOC. She masterminds strategies development, partnership building, managing and motivating teams to work collaboratively to achieve the overall business growth objectives. She has an excellent information technology background with a deep understanding of core. Just a second, let me just get some of our informations out. Adebola's skills is wow. For me, there's a lot to, learn from her. And that's why I said she's indeed a special guest for us today. And just before we invite her on stage, I just want to read the other parts of what she does. She recently led the encouragement with NOMAP, a collaboration with Shell Foundation and USAID to address the current difficulties of solar home systems companies faced in collecting payment from unbanked customers. She also led the engagement and Shell Foundation to increase access to electricity for low-income and remote consumers by reducing market barriers in payment, which led to job creation in the communities and the provision of free Wi-Fi within some of the communities during the COVID-19 pandemic. Wow, that's awesome. She holds a BSc in computer science from Covenant University and a master's degree in information technology from the University of Lagos. She's a professional member of the Project Management Institute of several professional bodies. What a skill. And I'm glad to bring her on board right now. Adebola, Sanni, you're welcome. We're glad to have you on our show. And reading from you is so, reading your skills are so enormous. I'm sure
Thank
you
you.
must have been a bookworm from school days and everything. I don't think just one person has all this. This is awesome. Glad to have you on this show. I'll be leaving the floor for you to let our guests get to know you, let them meet you, let them know more and hear from you. So the floor is all yours now.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My name is Adebola. Like you said, I'm an IT person in general, and I've always loved tech. I've been inquisitive for since I've been young, and I'm always trying to learn new things. And so I wanted to be a doctor before I switched to tech. So when I was trying to enter the university, I didn't have a university I liked that was offering medicine in Nigeria. Then I heard of Covenant University Computer Science, and I've always loved computer one way or the other. So it was a second choice for me. But I went into it and I loved it, and I stuck with it since then. So thank you very much. Is there
Yeah.
anything else?
Yeah, what informed you to become an IT person? Because to me, when I was growing up, I see IT as, programmers, IT personnel as, oh my God, this is a technical job. And so you have more male in that field than female. And there must be something that's pushed you, maybe a strength in your high school or something that made you go for the course. What moved you, your parents or your decision to go into it?
Yeah, it was my decision. So my dad made it open for everybody to choose the career path that you wanted. Like I said, I wanted medicine. Right. Yes, I'm very good with science. Like I love science. It's always very interesting for me. The curiosity around it, that was one of the things that took me to the STEM industry. And that was why I wanted to study medicine at that point in time. But when I was looking at the university, I like to read a lot too to know about the curriculum, what this about this university, how can they help me grow and stuff like that. And I realized that Sorry. So
Excuse
and I
me.
realized that going to a public school, I might have to spend longer time in the university based on some of the things I read about that. And I felt that private schools were upcoming and they were doing a whole lot. Then I wanted to go to the US as well. But my dad said, okay, just pick a local university for now. If you still want to go to the US in a year's time, then you can do that. So I opted for Covenant University. They didn't have medicine, so I chose computer science, which was my second choice because it's also science based, that maths, physics, and the things I love about IT. And that was how I fell into it. From my under level, it was like this is for me. But at the beginning, I assumed that I was still going to go to the US because my dad said just a year after my first semester, I realized that was actually a trick for you to just get into the school. And I just said, okay, yeah, I actually like it here, and I stuck with IT. And I think that was the beginning of my journey in IT, really.
That's awesome. But I showed you did a lot of things with IT. You said you had a lot of things with Shell Foundation, MTN. How did you get into all that? Was it the company you represent, or you had a site also that did business with them or something?
Yeah, okay. Most of those things where I work. So because I work in an IT space, I get to consult for a lot of industries, right? So I work in, so I'm in the middle of the business and it's core tech. So in IT, people always have this conception that is core tech. There's a core tech area and there is a middle ground and there's the business area at the same time. I'm in the middle ground. So I can either be a core tech person today and I can actually be a full business person tomorrow. And that's simply because in my journey in Haiti, I was able to realize that some gaps that needed to be filled. That in schools mostly they might not tell you about it, but when you are into the field, you realize that there's a middle ground actually. So not everything is core tech. I was a developer at some point, then I became a network engineer, then I became a database engineer. From that, I still transitioned into the product side, you know. So I have been to almost every layer of the tech sector, right? Before I now got to where I felt that this is where I need to be, which is more of the product side of things, which is a mixture of both IT and business. So it's a whole long journey for me to get there. But working with those companies that you've mentioned, those are most of my recent engagements. So because when you're working in an IT company like Swifter, it's more like a consulting company, really,
Yeah.
because we build applications for enterprises. So I work with so many companies, and what I will simply do is when I come into your organization, understand what your requirements are, what you want to achieve. It might be a company goal you are trying to achieve. Maybe you want to simplify your processes, your internal process. You feel that maybe you're not getting value, or it takes you maybe a long time for you to be able to close a deal, and you have digital channels. You know, sometimes it might be due to the inefficiency within your own company, which you need to digitize. And sometimes it might be that, oh, you want to create a product that is customer facing. I want customers to be able to call me and buy my product, click, pay, and go. That is another strategy. So that's a different goal from you building an internal process. So it could be any of those things. So where I position me daily is I sit both on the strategy, the business, and the IT side. I'm able to sit into these organizations, look at their overall infrastructure. What do they have today? What do they want to achieve? Now, from understanding that, you're able to provide solutions like, oh, these are some of the things I feel that you should put in place that can help your business grow to the next level. And this might be some of even the solutions that your customer needs today that will give you an edge in the market. So it depends on the area that fits in. And in some of the companies that we work with, we say, oh, I would want to pilot this solution that you are referring to. I want to see how it works. I want to saturate my customer. Let's go ahead. In some cases, it's mostly a revenue share, and some cases it's just like, oh, build it for me, I'll pay you off, and you just go. I own it. Nobody needs to know that you built it for me. It's nothing like that. So that's how it works. So some solutions I might have worked on, or I might have even created, you might never even have an idea that I worked on it because it's for an enterprise. And when you're doing it for an enterprise, that means you are going to develop something, hand over to them, and you hands off at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you seem to be versatile. You covered all the gaps in IT. You didn't just stay with one side, so you became so relevant because a lot of times you have people who are developer and they're strictly developer. You have data engineers that are strictly engineers. They don't
Yeah.
know, they wouldn't know the business side of it. But you became such that you went through all the ropes in IT. You became a developer, you went to becoming a network engineer, you also went to becoming a database engineer. That means, and you're actually in between. You are in the business front and the core, so you can bridge both together. So
Yeah.
having you is like you're taking like two, three, four people's job. You're doing that's what you're
So
doing.
no, so these days I don't program anymore, and yeah, back in the days I used to program. This is I did do a program, and I think it's been years since I looked at a code. Maybe like 5 years since I looked at a code to maybe work on it to see, oh, is there an issue here that I can help with, or is there something you want me to do to just. So yeah, but it's still very interesting.
To me, it was so interesting. Your knowledge grab, your knowledge is never ending. You went further to not just becoming a programmer, you went in becoming all these other aspects in IT, making yourself an irrelevant and a versatile person such that a company would not be able to do without you. If they're looking for people to ask to go, because you have multifaceted skill, they will want to keep you because you're going to be doing like two, three. And if they want to cut down on expense, you were just the right person any organization would want to have because you have an idea of all the aspects of IT. And now more relevant, everybody wants people who are business oriented. You can't just be behind the IT, behind the back end. Yes, because they say IT is an enabler. Yes,
Yeah.
you will be at the back end, but you also need to take care of the business front,
Mm-hmm.
which basically and physically you're doing right now, which is a
Mm-hmm.
great one. And I don't know how you coped with all that. You're married and you have a family. How did you cope?
Mm. Yeah, I have a great husband. He's very understanding. I think before the COVID, I used to travel a lot for work because, our clients are not just in Nigeria, they also across Africa majorly. And we also have some partnerships that the company I work for do with international organizations. So, for example, we deploy some of Google products where we help you to even build on infrastructure. We also resell some of the products. So, we are a partner. And if you need to do anything within that space, you would have to come to my company to help you to do that. So we are basically like an extension of Google here. So because we have both international partners and we also deploy the solution, not just in Nigeria, in different countries in Africa, I think about 17 countries. So you would have to, go meet these customers, go meet these clients, interface with them, understand their requirements, and even if you could work. So before this remote work became a thing, of course, there are a lot of remote work happening because you have a team. So before my role changed to chief strategy and partnership officer, now I was a group head of business. And the group means that I was actually working within all the opcos, that is all the operating countries in Africa for the business. So that means in Zambia, I am there at the meetings. Even sometimes I'm there physically because I'm here, or I'm in Uganda also. So before the lockdown, I travel a lot. And it's very interesting actually because it gives an understanding of other people that you're working with, the culture, and how they relate with some of the products that you build. Because one of the things I've learned is the markets are different, even though it's one Africa. The way in Zambia we interact with a product is different from the way in Nigeria we interact with a product. And it also still has to do with their own culture, how they see things, and how their market has evolved. And that is very, very interesting. So we meeting with people, going around, or understanding those markets, interfacing with the customers, it gives you some of this knowledge and information that you normally have not gotten if we're just in Nigeria trying to make decisions for someone in Zambia. So I feel it's very interesting, and my husband has been very understanding with all the travel, managing the kids. But I think, yeah, I do okay with that. But since COVID has come, I haven't traveled a lot, honestly.
But that's a great one. You got
Yeah,
someone who was supporting. That was for me, that was a key because that's a killer. Because if you can imagine you don't have the right person, you don't have the right spouse to support you. Your job is either you would have changed that job or you'd have probably stopped pursuing that career. But having a right spouse who would help you and would not just only be there to support you, be there for you. You understand? And that was what kept you going. And I'm sure you've been in this field for so many years doing
yeah,
just one thing. I want to say thank you to maybe you just extend my greetings to him. That was a great one, having someone to support you and traveling all around, spearheading a team. He said, "Oh Lord," they said, "On easy lies the head that wears the crown." I'm sure you had a lot of battles at times when the system not working. People would go home, you would stay back at work, and probably
yeah.
you get very late home. You might have to stay overnight because I had a neighbor then. Sometimes she doesn't come home. So and I was
Wow.
like, how did she cope? But I knew she had a supporting husband and she had a nanny. Because for her, our kids were quite young. They were less than 7 years old. And of course, in the morning, you need to put the kids together to get ready for school. So she had a very supporting husband, and she was working in one of the banks. Then she comes in as in dead in the night, sometimes 12 midnight, sometimes maybe 4 a.m. Sometimes you just get to hear that the car, somebody's moving out of the compound. Probably the husband is going to pick her up or something. Maybe she cannot drive because it's too late or something. That's an Herculean task and traveling all about, but great, 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 great experience. It opens you up to other countries, understanding, networking, getting to know others. That's a great
Yeah,
one for me. And I think for our viewers who are viewing, they are getting to hear from you. On Easy Lies the Heather, where's the crown? And success is not accidental. Success is intentional. You gave yourself to studying. You gave yourself to doing all the certification. You gave yourself, you gave yourself to, being at the peak of your career, getting to the top. Because if you didn't give yourself to studying or doing some of these exams, you probably won't be maybe head of a group. You probably won't head a team. You probably won't be exposed to traveling around, but because you had a team, you need to go around to ensure that all the companies or all the countries you're serving, are doing well and they have a clarity and understanding, a good grasp of your software. Because
Yeah.
I did IT sales and I know what it is. When you have to go and market an organization, you have to give them the benefit of what this software will do. Sometimes they want you to do a trial run,
Mm-hmm.
a proof
Mm-hmm.
of concept before they pay you.
Yeah.
So, and for you being a business and also the core IT, you would have to wait and make sure it works. Because for a customer who wants, exchange of money, there's going to be exchange of they're getting your product and they're going to give you money. They want
Yeah.
proof of concept before they sign off and say they're going to pay you. So it's
Yeah.
a lot of work because if it doesn't work, you've expended some money.
Yes.
And who bears the brunt? Who bears the cost? So a lot of times my boss will tell you we don't have issues in doing proof of concept, but make sure the company understands that it's either 50-50 or 100% from the client because you can't afford to travel, go do proof of concept. Sometimes the issue might be from the client side.
Yeah.
If they
That's
don't
true.
have the everything, or maybe there's an issue. Sometimes it could be internet. Once you get there, you plan to stay 1 or 2 nights. Sometimes you might end up staying a week. Who pays for all the exigencies? Who pays for the hotel and everything? It's a lot of work. And for you to, engage in such career, you have to travel to other countries. Sometimes I'm sure you probably plan to stay 1 week, you stay 2 weeks. Things will just change. So I want to say I doff my hat for you. That's a great one you're doing. And your relationship with family members, how did you cope with them? Because I know traveling, so maybe spouse parents might be like,
Mm.
where is she always going to? Who would take care of the kids? How do you cope with, relationship across boards with your family, colleagues at work, outside, you belong to some kind of faith ministry. How did you cope with all the relationship network of friends with this your career?
Okay. Yes, I love to network with new people, but even as at that, I still don't have a lot of friends. I have few friends. I have few friends from when I was in secondary school. Even when I was in university, I have few friends, and they are very good. And even it was even one of my friends that referred me to where I currently work now, and to switch that before I joined. Before then, I was even running my own business. That's another story, but basically, my I've always been like this since I was young. Like always wanted to learn more, always very curious, and my interests have always been very different. I know there was a time my mother was extremely worried that "Oh, this guy I don't understand. Everybody's watching Yoruba movie and I'm on opera. I'm watching opera. Who watches opera? Who is in secondary school that watches opera? And you see me watch opera 5 o'clock TV, every day. And my mom is like, really, people are watching your there is DSTV now. People watch TV. Like I really didn't have it was not an area of interest. I'm always very curious, wanted to learn more, learning to experiment, do new things. And so I kind of think my friends got used to me being like that. So that's the only way I see it. Maybe they see otherwise. So and even in the university, I know my friends really tried a lot. If sometimes I take a lot of things like I had to join the computer club and I had a lot of activities I was also doing because along the line when I was in secondary school, I realized that because you are trying to achieve so much, you can get yourself so worked up in work that you not literally forget every other thing. So
Yeah.
I made a conscious effort personally myself that I'll put myself out there. Apart from just working and just knowing that you're just focused on reading, other things should come into place. So I joined like associations like computer there's a computer club I joined. I also joined decorating units. I joined some other units, an NGO, two NGOs actually. One was for helping people in secondary school to become independent, teach them math, English, and community service. And the other one was just to contribute to orphanages and stuff like that. And sometimes I don't get to the hostel till late in the night and I've not eaten all day. It's only my friends I run to and they will just make me that midnight indomie and I'll be like, please help. Like they really try for me sometimes because I would have come so late. I would not wake up early to go to class and they make sure that that they come for me so that I don't miss this morning class again. So I had a lot of support from my friends. I will not lie, they were great. They are still very great because they're still my friends. Like I said, I had a few friends, some of them from my secondary school and some of them from the university. And yes, and yeah, I think maybe it just got to my way of life, understanding that that is the way
Yeah.
I see this. And one way or the other, we work together. That's we flow together one way or the other. So I except the accident, but I feel that they just understand my personality. I show up for my friends when they need me. I never shy away from showing up for my friends. And when I also need them, they always showed up. So I guess that's the relationship for that. So my parents as well, my mom was just always worried about me being too serious, and she was worried about you always when people are talking about maybe going for fun in university. Me, I'm talking about, "Oh, I want to do an investment. I want to try this thing," and she was always,
Yes.
I don't understand. Like
Yeah.
I know I had a lot of clashes with my dad on that in 200 level when I told him I wanted to do an investment in a plot of land, right? And he just said, "But you went to school to read, just focus on the book." And my dad is like, I know that you are good, but I don't really have time. This is not what we are going to school to do." And we had the fallout then. My dad sends all everybody's school fees to my account. I'm the one that disbursed to all the schools that we were all going to. So I had to tell him to stop paying me allowance that I could take care of myself when I was in 200 level, just because of the issue of me wanting to do way more, wanting to invest. I had an entrepreneurial spirit, and just like himself, but just couldn't take it like you're in school. Why not focus on school? So over time, my dad learned that she's it's just who she is, and I'm more like him. So I guess my family just got used to it, and they just accepted me for that.
I think maybe that's one of the reasons why we're connected because your friends get to know you after a while. So that means you must, and I tell everyone, once you get to an environment, people must know you for what you stand for and who you are. The moment people understand you, they get to just, play along. Or those who want to be your friends will be your friends. And those who want to walk away from your life will walk away because you've set a standard. You are not just, when you don't have a standard, you don't have a vision of what you want to become. Whatever anybody says, the wind just blows you to any direction. But because you were disciplined, you had a calling, you had something you were going for. That's what made you stand out. Stand out. Can you elaborate in any of the areas you have made a difference in your chosen field?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Like you said, the tech space is actually it looks it's actually true. It's more of the men's space. When I joined where I was working now, right, there were mostly guys in the office. Like they have a lot of stars all over. I'm sure maybe if not close to 100, about maybe a little shy of 100 at the time I joined, and we're just about I could only count about 4 ladies in the whole company, right? And it's an IT company. But when I was going up the ladder, I made it a priority that within my team, because I'll be doing hiring at that point in time, I made sure that I had a lady in my team. Over time, the CEO also now made it his own priority to have a lady in every team, right? But he had to start from somewhere. He had to be. I saw that this was an issue, and when I was hiring, I was deliberate about putting females in the team because you know, the way developers can be, the way people say developers are, sometimes they're like that. They're just like this one direction. Why does the customer want this? Can't they just do this? Can't they just do that? And you are just trying to explain some things to them. I feel that if there were also more ladies there, because women engage more like on a more social level than guys, so they get to be able to relate very well with customers sometimes, so they get able to understand some of those use cases as well. So I felt that if we had more women in the team, it could also cause that balance. It should create that balance. There
There will
is
be a balance, yes.
balance.
Sure.
So it won't just be one-sided opinion. It be like it's a balanced kind of opinion. You are building something for people, not for just guys. And you really have guys in the company building products for everybody, which you also include female. So I started by adding female to my own team. I had one at first, then I had four. Then the company had a plan because the new CEO, by the time he took over, insisted that he wants it to be gender inclusive. So he started to hire for the management role that I only had one female to have him more than one. I think today now we have three. and within the other roles we have so many ladies now. And even for development, even the guys and even in the company also got that vibe, and they just felt like, no, in my team we need a lady. If you come for interview and we don't see any ladies in that interview, we know what again. Bring the ladies, bring
Yeah.
them. You know, yeah, I don't know ladies again. That there are ladies in that. Why are you not getting there? It's why I did not hear. So give everybody equal opportunity, and it's not like we are hiring ladies because they are ladies. We're hiring them because they are competent in what they do. And we've had great ladies join the company. As in almost every lady we've had have been awesome in the company. And even to today, I'm sure if you introduce the CEO, will tell you that they had made great contribution to the business. And even the ones that have moved on went on to do greater things. Not that they didn't achieve a lot. So I feel that we need to give more chance to ladies in tech, and I believe it starts from the foundation, because I remember when I was in university, computer science, yeah, we had a lot of practical in Covenant University. I also went for I had my master's degree in the University of Lagos, and I can tell you the experience was extremely different for me. It was different for me because I couldn't relate it to the experience I had in Covenant University. And I read the curriculum, I felt that this was the course I needed. But when I got into it, I felt that I don't just understand. I don't understand the experience in Covenant is way different, and
Yes, private and public university.
the teaching pattern too is very different. So, and at the time, I felt that Covenant to do a more. I think Unilag needs to do a whole lot more. So everything can be practical. You can't be in IT and say that, oh, still be learning how to program by just writing down the codes. When that code is a practical code that needs to do, it has to interact with other people. You need to be able to see what you're building. If you're building a calculator, once you see the calculator and utilize it and be able to test it, that would have been an exam. Not that you write the code down. It doesn't help anybody because that's not the way the codes even work in the first place. So I felt that people couldn't really experience what they were doing. Everything was too theoretical, and that also causes people to shy away from tech, because it's like learning a new language entirely, and you're so worried about, oh, this is so hard. But when you get into it and you're able to relate with it, and when you do this, you get this result. I think that visual gives you more understanding that, oh, it's not as hard as I thought. Number one, right? That's one point. The second point is there are other areas in tech that do not involve you being a core IT person, does not involve you being a developer. In schools, people don't get to know this. People don't understand that as a business analyst role, and that role is so beautiful and wonderful, and it's a bridge between core tech and IT as well. People don't understand there is a product management role which they don't teach from school.
Sure.
And I think that it should even go beyond even the university. It should go to the secondary school when you are trying to make that choice to even go to university in the first place. Why need I know that those other roles were there? And there is a way that you can use what you learn in tech to add value to people's life beyond you being the developer. Because there are so many roles in between that everybody focuses on just the developer, but forget that that developer couldn't have done anything without a product manager, wouldn't have done
Yeah, without a
anything
strategist.
without a business person, without
Yeah.
a product marketer, without a BA, a project managers, people that literally almost kill themselves on the project and putting things together. You know, there are a lot of critical roles in IT, and people just don't understand them. There are testers, quality assurance people, people that ensure there's cyber security experts, people that ensure that things are in place, that data scientists. All these roles do not require you to be so technical, go learn, all IT things and feel like everything is so scary. All these shows are a lot, and their jobs are in demand, but people don't even know it. So you get to run away from IT just because you feel that it is too hard, it's too complex, and it's mostly guys. It is not that way. So I think some of the things I try to do is try to mentor people as well. I try to mentor a lot of women. I'm a lot of mentorship programs just to mentor them, to let them see the other side. Then I'll mentor people that want to transition into IT as well. People that feel that, oh, okay, how do I get into this space? It's too hard. These are the things, and I just let them understand that there are a lot of opportunities beyond just the tech part. So you don't need to be a developer. You don't need to worry. You don't need to make it look like development is that difficult. There are different sides for even development. There's a front end, there's back end, and there are different applications, and it depends on how you fit in. So, people just need that understanding of how the IT industry work, of the different areas of IT, how they could fit in. Because you might end up seeing that there's an area that is more of interest to you than being a developer. It could even be development at the end of the day. Maybe you're just too scared of learning something new. That was why you made the decision that no, this is not for me. you might realize that it's even simpler than you thought, and it is something that you would enjoy. So I feel that right from secondary school, just before you make that decision about going to the university, people should have the opportunity to be able to see everything, maybe not just in tech, but at least it's tech I know. Everything around tech, the different side of tech, how you could fit in, so that you can make that decision that, oh, computer science might be right for me, just because, not only because I want to be a developer, because I could be this, and this. And it could work in, and I could work in any sector, because the truth is, in tech, once you're in tech, one way or the other, you can work for any sector. I've worked in telecoms, I've worked in oil and gas, FMCG, retail
Yes,
sector.
it's actually a very great course.
You end up working in so many industries, and you learn a whole lot about so many industries. I'm wondering, someone is talking about supply chain, and you have clear understanding of that, because you actually build the solution that they're using to manage that structure. That gives you that you go into different sectors that you can't imagine, in medical field and so many other fields like that. So I think it's just that, how do you get people to understand it from the beginning, help them make decisions even before they get to that level of where they're in the university, and beyond the university, how do people get experience in all these fields? I think that's the way. So from some of the mentorship program, I hope it helps, and from some of the from the things that I introduced in the company, which everybody is now utilizing in the company, which I think is fantastic. I hope I've made able to make some of the differences you're asking for.
Awesome. Awesome. For me, you just demystify IT. IT, back then everybody sees it as a very, difficult course. You've just simplest, made it very simple for me. And to me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting all this information, and how do I pass this information to others? Because people just think when you're an IT person, you are into core IT. All the business handle, the quality assurance, people don't get to know. And I'm like, yes, you're mentoring, you're just one person mentoring so many. How would you reach? How would this information spread? So, I don't know how we will be able to be of help so that people know before they go into IT that IT is not just the core. IT is
Yeah.
not just about, database, network, developer. It's beyond that. And the
Yeah.
moment you go get into IT is known as an enabler. That means every organization needs you. You're relevant in every organization, because for any company to succeed and do well online, they need an enabler. They need IT. They need somebody at the back end. Because yes, you are the back end. You are the engine room of every business. If IT is down, you find out that even in the back, the queues are much. You find
Yeah.
that some things cannot go on.
Mm-hmm.
Payment cannot go on.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses are shut down because of IT. So
Yeah.
IT is a critical factor to every sector in business, even to a country political. You need IT. How do you disseminate information? How does the phone connect with your laptop? How do people connect with each other? You need IT. IT is a versatile course that everyone, and in the developed world, IT is key, and it's one of the greatest, jobs offer that pay people, and you can work from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be in the physical space of an office. You can work as a help desk, customer service, IT quality assurance, so many things you can do. And I think that the university too should make it explicit in their brochures. When people want to come into IT, I'm buying a jam form, I want to do an exam to get into an institution, I want to find out what other aspect of IT can I do. So when people have a clarity and understanding of what they want to do, it's easier for more ladies to come into IT, because from afar off, people think IT is just for the men. And I love what you said. You've been able to make a difference, and that's because you were in the hiring position. If you were not part of the HR, and I'm sure maybe whoever was there probably would just go for the best and not even being focused on getting a female, having a mixed gender in an organization. And glory to God, you had somebody who became like a call for him, that he wants, females to come into the business. And that was a great one. Interesting indeed for me, very interesting. And I want this, message to be passed on to upcoming generation. IT is key. IT is an enabler. People should go into IT. There is no organization that can thrive without IT. And you just made it so simple that listening to you, I can say I want to diversify. I want to do something in IT. I did IT sales So I had a little background about, because for you to sell IT, you must have an understanding of the back end. Because you're going to an organization, you want to tell them what your system does. They want to get to understand, how do your software connect to my back end? So I had a clarity of some understanding of back end, because there is no way you can become a good salesperson, IT salesperson, without having an understanding of the product you're selling. How do you get the customer to have a clarity? Because you need to present this thing to the customer to have a buy-in. And yes, it took me some time to learn because it wasn't my area of specialization. But everything anyone wants to do, the moment you have a mind and a focus to learning anything, you can learn any skill. The human personality has been built in such a way that there's actually no skill that you cannot learn.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no skill you cannot learn. You understand? And with all you've told me, it's so elaborate for me. I want to ask, what are you aspiring to do in the next 4, 5 years, 10 years from now? Because you've said so much that you're doing now, and I'm not thinking you're closing the curtain. You're still doing more. So, what are you aspiring to do in the next few years? And I would say your best habits. You became very studious. I'll call it your best habits. You are a fickle, someone who reads.
Maybe.
You were always wanting. You're craving for more knowledge, and
Yeah.
that's why you got to the peak of your career. So, would you just tell me what area you're looking at doing, maybe in the few after today? What's your next? They would always ask you, what's your next 5 years goal? What do
Mhm.
you intend to do? Do you intend to start something of your own? Do you intend to start a school or academy, to mentor young ladies and the youths in general?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, some of the things you said, yeah, I already plan to do that. So, first of all, I also have my own startup that I run, and I think for me, in the next 5 years, that will be my focus because earlier on this year, I transitioned to a full consulting role in my organization. So I'm no longer a full staff. I wanted to be able to have more time to do what I want to do now. And so I transitioned to a consulting role because I've spent years building products for people, helping people, other companies grow, other people grow, and I felt that there is still a portion in the market that needs to be serviced, which was why I was able to come up with a product with my partner, and which is called Eran Pay. That is Eran GOC that we read on my this
Yeah,
thing. And basically, it's a cross-border payment solution. It helps. The same problems that I face when I travel, that almost everybody face when they travel within Africa. Nigeria has naira, Ghana has cedis, and you go to Zambia is another currency, Kenya is another currency. So why do you spend money? You end up with a lot of small notes or a lot of notes from Ghana, Kenya. You might not go there in another 2 years, stuff like that. So what I simply did, so those are some of the experience. And for me and my partners, what now happened was when we traveled 1 year to Ghana, that was when CBN changed the rule that you have that limit of $100 that you can spend in a month on your card. It didn't really resonate at that point in time. But when we got to the hotel, I wanted to pay for the night. Realized that we're stranded. I don't know if you've had that feeling before that you got stranded. You have money, you can't spend it. It's the worst feeling in the world. And you're like, I don't understand. I have money. How can I say I can't pay for hotel? So basically, yeah, when your hotel bill and you're like, it now looks like you can imagine. And you go call your bank, call this one, they are telling you, oh, sorry, there's really nothing we can do. At the end of the day, it's talking to a friend of a friend, connections for people, and somebody sends money through some mobile money and they're able to settle your bill, you send them naira, It was a whole lot complex, and you go from Ghana to Togo and it's the same experience. And that was how we came up with the product. Like, have a platform called on the Play Store is Eran Global. Although the name is changing, we are rebranding it, but it's called Eran Global. You download it and you get a wallet where, like, a balance account that you can use to send money from Nigeria to Ghana, Nigeria to Kenya. And so if you go to Ghana today and you want to pay your hotel bill, you just need to ask them for their mobile money account and send the money there. They get it instantly without any problem. So like, this year I was in Ghana for PAPS, which is the Pan African Payment Settlement platform that was just launched, and I didn't have any issue paying. So the limits are still there, but I could use the account. I can spend from my naira and get and pay locally in any African country I go to. So I go to Uganda, I pay locally like I'm a local. So that's the whole idea. So you have you're happy with that. And for me, I think that is a beautiful thing. And I always believe in the vision of Africa. So the fact that a product of mine is solving a Pan African issue, it is, I feel that that is it's a game changer. And that is exactly what I have in my next 5 year roadmap. So that's one. And the second thing I also have there is the a platform. I sent a post on the, I think, 30th or 31st of March, where I said I'm launching a platform called Tech Social. And the Tech Social is just a channel to help people in secondary school to learn a bit more about the different sectors in IT before they make that decision of going into university,
Awesome.
so that they can learn a bit more about what exactly is the sector about, how can they fit in. It's not hard. There are so many opportunities and you can do
Awesome.
it. So
Awesome.
so that was why I launched that. Yeah, I wanted to launch it last year, but I look at my schedule and I feel that, so during my mentorship program, it's just a need. Like, I keep meeting a lot of people that they face the same problem. It's just like it never goes away. And you talk to people every time, it's the same problem over and over. I just felt that I could create a structure around it where I could help more people to be able to,
Thank you.
that.
It's been, oh my God. In summary, I would want to say you were a person, your previous years and your life was a life of discipline. You had a daily routine, an agenda that made you stood out to becoming a success. Because I tell people, I said, your routine makes you. Your routine is your habits. Your routine is what do you do every day? What do you do, weeks, months, year? So your routine formed your habits. You had an agenda of where you were going to. You had a vision of where you were going to, and you did not allow distraction to keep you behind. And you did not just occupy, the lower cadre. You went beyond the average. You went to the highest of your peak. And in summary, I would want to say your experience, people would say experience is the best teacher. You had an evaluated experience. You had experiences from people. You went back, worked on the experience, and you were able to make a mark in in your time. And now you're also having a group, a mentoring group, a platform to mentor youth. That's awesome. To me, I think you're now living a life of significance because you've gone beyond being successful, but you're now giving back to the society. You're giving back to the younger generation. You're trying to impact them, and one thing I told someone, I said, life is in session, life is counting. Are you fully present? What are you doing now? Life is in session, life is ticking, time is going, you're moving. And are you fully present? What are you doing? How significant is your life? Such that once you leave this side of, what will people say you've done? What mark have you left in the sand of times? You understand? And you kept on, probing further to know more, to know more, to know more. There was a saying I actually got. It said, "A wise man asks himself, what do I do next?" But you find the unwise asking others, what is going on? You kept on asking, you kept on probing to get more knowledge. I want to say thank you for giving out yourself, giving out your time, and letting us know what you're doing, what difference you're making in your sphere of life, your circle of friends. I want to say thank you, and I would love to connect with you on that mentoring session where we can mentor youth. I have some youths around me, and so that they are properly informed and they have a proper channel of what they want to do in IT, so that they are not lost and feeling IT is for particular sector of people, but whereas everyone can, play in that sphere. I want to thank you for making that time to come in on this show with me and, giving us all your experiences, your pitfalls, how you climbed, and all the things you've been through, the rigors. We want to say thank you for coming on. And I want to say we would be in touch and we might have to call you some other time again to this show so that people can get to connect with you. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for joining us. And for all our viewers joining everywhere in the world, I want to say thank you. And if you missed the session and you need to go back, please do go back. It's so, mind blowing for me, so educative, so much to, play, so much to, teach the upcoming generation. Thank you, Adebola, Sanni.
Thank you very much.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you. And if this is your first time joining on this channel, please kindly like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can get more recent updates and more updated information. And if this is impacting you, please share with your friends, get them on board, let them come to learn from the people we're bringing on board. Some of these people, you never might be able to meet them in life, but when they come on this show, you can watch or listen to what they have done and how they've made a mark in the sand of times. Thank you, Adebola, and have a blessed evening. Thank
Thank
you. Bye.
Bye.